network? It's a very good evening to all of you that are listening to Breeze FM. Delighted to have your company wherever you are listening in from. It is a beautiful Sunday evening, the first day in the month of March 2026. And indeed, we did mention that we have a couple of conversations, interactions with a number of political leaders. And we are joined now in the studio. Makamagati Karoka Milanana Ankana, a member of Parliament, Kaleba Binwell Mpundu, Makamaka Sokola Diva Binwell Party, Amazibagabauti Chava. So no, my name is Justin Mwanza. Tikare mods makamaka in the next hour or so. Kamba pa zosia na siana makamaka kuonese saudi nanga zachitukuko ziwenda bwanji muziko and ponso kaya pati yao iluchita bwanji and kurupia. There's been concerns, quite a lot of concerns in regards Bichava Iche joining the alliance. We'll get to have that particular conversation as well, and many other issues. Chipata C teacher Diza Mambwe, you're getting us live on 89.3 FM. Dundas Nimba and Petaokeos is 89.7. On 98.5 we have Katete Basinda Chadiza. Also Ibadira Mela Tuvesela Pamakina Topano, Simple Live Radio, TuneIn, Radio Garden, also my platform Josia Nasia na Mela Tuvesela. Tualandile Ankana, a member of Parliament Tonse Mpundu, that if I can go now Chansa, that's why.
Dear Justin, my brother, thank you so much. Nipasa moni kuli monse muri muchipata na konse kuma places kwa mene breeze ifika ndine wokondo ya pobwela kuno kwatsu kuno kuchipata. This is my second home. It was lovely to see, the Ngonis dance yesterday, the Nchwala ceremony. We're always excited to be here.
I enjoyed your dance as well, but you just gave us a jonko. I thought you would go on and on.
Mfumus, they don't do too much. It's just a kadionko, so that it leaves you craving for more.
They say jonko tavesushaka.
Yeah.
You were here last year.
Always.
I mean, how was that? How would you describe this year's ceremony?
First of all, the Nchwala ceremony to me is very dear. It's a time that helps me to come and reconnect with my relatives, the Easterners. Except the last two Nchwalas have been very sad for me, because every other time I've had to come to Eastern Province to celebrate Nchwala, I've always come with my dear brothers. That was Munia Zulu and JJ. This time around, the last 2 years, I've had to come alone. It's painful because my brothers have been taken away. JJ is out of the country because of injustice. Munia is in prison because of injustice. I hate injustice, because a society that is built on injustice cannot stand.
Mugati injustice
ni chakuti muntu bamupeleka ku prison without committing a crime. Venangu simuziva, Munia ali mu prison when he did not commit a crime that should have sent him to prison. Some of you may know, isema MPs tina chamene baitana immunity. Nchifuka chakuti chamene tikamba ngati mu parliament or kwamene tigona kuma hostels kwatu ku parliament motel, everything we do or say in those places, we have immunity. Nobody can take you to court. But Munia akamba apanga statement.
Seditious practices.
No. Munia sends a seditious practice. It was a defamatory statement. Ija amena nakamba yaba mirupi na finance minister. Kwa mena nakambira ni ku parliament, ku media center. tinapeleka ba magistrate kuja onani ni hapa pamene anakambira hivi. He had immunities, but the court went ahead and sent him to jail. We have seen so much of injustice. Bowman, as an example, Bowman Usambo, aendache mkugura pai. Because he's a famous guy, people comes to greet him. They say unlawful assembly, and he gets 1 year in prison. So these injustices, Justin, cannot be allowed to continue in a country that has thrived on the rule of law, a country that has thrived on democracy. But we've become a people that can see JJ is abducted. He is found and he names the people that abducted him. And then they turn the story around at Anapanga Mulandu 5-6 years ago. Instead of telling the country what exactly happened to him, they start to hunt him down. JJ has to run away because the justice system has been weaponized to ensure that Aliense, Amenesa Konkaba UPND, must go to jail. Onani Mwamba, is not in the country. He has run away from a rotten justice system. Tayari Kameneaka, had a genuine issue where people came with guns at his place. But because he suspected they could have been military, they turn around. So we have a situation where victims are turned into villains. So I was just saying, Justin, I have come here. This is my second time to celebrate in Nchwala alone. It's a painful experience. It has been a beautiful moment coming here with my friends. But what can we do? All we now need to do is to fight a monster that is in town. I've learned something from the Easterners. They say that inkalamu ya bwera mumunzi, and devours a madman. Don't ignore because uja ni wofunta. Mairo izaka bwera izaka dia na wina ngofunta. The next time it will still want to eat. So what will happen if the mad people are finish in the village? It will start eating the normal people. So when you have an enemy in your midst, you need to fight an enemy together. And the enemy of the people of Zambia today is the UPND. The UPND has become the enemy of our economy. Look at our economy today. Bantu are failing to survive. Even those who are working, maneses, my teachers, even wajamene wanangesa nchito, wanangenesa nchito, maneses, my teachers, ask them how much they are getting paid and how they are surviving with the salaries that they are getting. Ask wakapokola bamene batuma tikamugwire ni Binwell how much they are getting today, and what that money is helping them to, to survive. So they are now the enemy of democracy. They are the enemy of the rule of law because lelo kuri what we call the animal farm. Some animals are more equal than others. Kulibena ngubatukwana, they are not persecuted. Iwe ukatukwana che, ukalemba chili chonse pa social media, bakuti, it is a misleading statement, you will go to jail. But veve, kupitila mma Facebook page Monga Koswe and Watchdog, every day they keep on defaming statements and citizens. Every day they keep on, spreading hate. Them, they are more special. We have a lot of cadres of the UPND who have gone attacking people during by-elections, who have gone on abducting. You remember the case of a young man called Black Apple. They abduct a young man at the graveyard. They are very well known, but even today, they are walking very free. He say that we are arrested for simply saying, defend yourselves. Even when the law provides that you can defend yourself, Justin, I may go into prison for simply saying, defend yourselves. When it is provided, HH used to say, defend yourselves. But what
does it mean when you say defend yourself?
It means the Constitution provides that if I attack you, Justin, you can attack me back. The only issue that is there is that what I came with, if I came with a stone, you should also use a stone. You can't use anything bigger than a stone. So the law provides as a self-defense mechanism that you can defend yourselves for as long as the force you use to defend yourself is equal to the person who has come to attack you. So ngata bwela na mfuti. Na iwe unga using mfuti to defend yourself. ngatabwera na knife naiwe unga using a knife to defend yourself ngatabwera na libwe naiwe unga using libwe but ngatabwera na makofi ufunika naiwe uka using chabe makofi. So it is provided for in the law. And there is nothing wrong in telling people ngata kumenya naiwe mumenye, for as long as if he has used a stick, use a stick.
Don't you think when a leader like you, utters, such, it becomes inciting people to,
I am a small leader, Justin, who has been making that statement. Imagine HH, who was the leader of the biggest opposition, who always used to say, defend yourselves. In fact, for him, he used to say, ngati papura na mapanga, na imwe sebenzani mapanga. So are you telling me that HH, it was okay for HH as leader of the UPND to make that statement, but it is not okay for Binwell Mpundu? It is not okay because we have now created two sets of laws where it is okay for HH to say, defend yourselves, but it is not okay for Binwell to say, defend yourselves. That is not a society we want. We want a society where this is black, it will be black tomorrow, it will be black, black the next day. So these guys by UPND are now enemies of our democracy. They are enemies of the rule of law. They are enemy of our national unity. Apa manje tatuikele bwino twalipaturukana ne mitundu na tupaturukana regionally, because you have now a president who is going to go to Southern Province and say, look, in ebani zone that chifuka nichoka kuno ku Southern Province. What do you expect the people of Southern Province will react to people who are coming out of Southern Province? Because the president saying, in ebani zone that chifuka nichokera kuno. So these things must worry you as a Zambian. The UPND are an enemy because, the corruption that we are witnessing today is unprecedented. And corruption, you know what it does?
Who's enemy? Well, when you say the UPND is an enemy
to the Zambian people. Because when you have a government that entertains corruption, if you go to the Financial Intelligence Center today, they will tell you corruption has increased by over 500% from the time the UPND took over power. It's not my making. It's not my statement. It's the statement of the Financial Intelligence Center, which is a wing of government presided over by President Hakainde Hichilema. If the Financial Intelligence Center is saying we are losing billions of dollars out of illicit financial transactions, who are in charge of this government? It's the UPND. And that money should have gone to address the welfare of our people. Vantu kuno bavutika Justin. My farmers were paid almost in March. Most of the farmers failed to prepare their fields. Chitukuko kuno kudibe. Marodzi yonse amene banayamba.
I've interacted with a number of farmers. Most of them have gotten paid.
They've gotten paid, but when did they get paid, Justin? A farmer is supposed to be paid at least before August so that they start preparing the land. The farmers kuno kuchipata banabalipira mu February. What can you do when you are given your money in February? Because farming starts in August, September, and October. And you cannot start farming if you don't have money, because in farming, there's a preparation. You must have money that is going to help you buy the seeds, that is going to help you buy the fertilizer. Without that money, you can't plan your farming. And without planning, you will not actually do the farming. This government is an enemy of the farmers in Eastern Province. You know, Justin Kuti, Eastern Province is about farming. Okay? Now, aba UPND banabwera ati isengati mativotela tizabwesa mitengo ya fertilizer. We are going to include many beneficiaries on the FISIP program. Today, baniuza ati kuno ku Eastern Province, they've increased the number of beneficiaries bama FISIP, but ni makada beka. That is why
and
do they
have proof that makada?
Yes, they do. As interact with all these farmers that get the FISIP, they will tell you that just when they pop FISIP, but manje badipo because
Katas are not Zambian.
No, they are Zambians, but you don't get included on such programs to disadvantage the others based on your political inclination. Just like the Cash for Work program. The only people that are benefiting from the Cash for Work program are the cadres. They are all known. The only people that are getting malons na grants ya CDF ni makadas. Ngati wasegula ma phone line kuno. Bazakuuza bantu. Even last time when I came, Justin, you heard those phone calls where people were complaining at Yamene is CDF, Yamene Mukambapo, CDF. It's a city warner is CDF. Chifukwa, Tiona Chema Kadas Baku UPND, never Mene Batenga.
Don't you receive, Kunkana CDF?
We do.
And the end of Makada.
But look, for me in my constituents, there is no way I can allow such to happen. You know me, I'm a man of, standing. Nobody can push me. At least in Nkana, I can testify that it's not just the cadres. But elsewhere, where you have weak MPs, the CDF is going to only cadres of the UPND. What if you have MPs, Monga, Bamene, Bachita, every time the president is coming, kuri endorsement?
I know we'll come to issues of endorsement, but there's been a lot of concerns. You started out well, with Ichawaiche, party, and all of a sudden you join the alliance. Young people are concerned that Ichawaiche, will die a natural death. What is your comment?
In fact, the young people of Zambia should be excited
that you joined the alliance.
At the alliance. I'll tell you why. When we started this movement, Ichabaich, we started it in 2023 in December. The idea of Chabafana, Ichabaich, was to create a vehicle for young people who have been marginalized over all these years. Remember, Justin, the young people in Zambia are seen as tools by the politicians. When campaigns comes, stand campaign for us, we are going to give you opportunities in future. So young people are not respected in the politics of Zambia. They are just looked at as tools of violence, tools for campaigns, and tools to give those who wants to go into offices numbers. What we decided, Ine Nabanzanga Benamunia, JJ, Bachonde, Thomas Sipalo, Nichakuti, let's create a platform to give an opportunity for young people to also showcase that they also can lead this country. And we started 2 years ago. But the fact remains, for the August 2026 election, we have not yet covered the whole country as a movement. If we have not covered the whole country, there's no way we could have won the August election if we went into the election alone. So the people out there who are the voters, our bosses, kept on telling us, apamanje chifunika mugulizane na banzanu, so that you can dislodge this enemy of the people. So we decided to listen to the people who said, can you team up with your friends? Okay, if I wanted to be selfish, Justin, would have insisted ballot so that Binwell Mpundu, but I would not have won. That I live in a reality. I would not have won the presidency in August this year if we had gone alone, because we had not done enough groundwork to cover the whole country. Why did we cover the whole ground? Because we started very late, 2 years ago. So what we have just decided is for me to shelve my ambition to allow the people to win. And the only way we can allow the people to win is to unite with our friends who are also in the opposition. Now, the advantage to the young people is, for the first time, this union of the young people and the old people may actually produce a president. That president will not be far from us, because it would have been a creation or a product of our efforts. It will mean the next government of Mundubile and the Tonse Alliance is going to have at least a good number of young people sitting in cabinet. The likes of Munyamata Wiwonapa, this is Chabota Chilinda Muetwa. You've seen that very intelligent young man who gives the most beautiful analysis of politics. The next government, there's no way you can miss a guy like this one. So what we are saying is that an opportunity now has come, because if we had gone into an election, we were going to have lost. If we had lost, the young people would have lost completely, with no opportunity to sit on the table of decision making. But when we team up with our friends and win the election, my role as leader of Ichabache is to now fight for the equal share of the young people around the leadership of the Tonse Alliance.
And how do you intend to do that? Because obviously you've positioned yourself as the strongest, advocate for more young people in government, beyond representation.
Exactly.
What concrete policy? Yes, you are in the alliance now. What concrete policy are you taking in the alliance, or policy proposals, to be precise? Are you advancing to institutionalize youth participation in decision making, not just as appointments, but within cabinet, parliament and local government structures?
Already, if you have heard the pronouncement of President Brian Mundubile, or let me make it very clear, because let me make it very clear. Chipani Chabafana, Ichaba Iche, has now decided to work with Bakuru Batu, my parents Batu, Tonse Alliance that is being led by Honorable Brian Mundubile.
Because we have over 10 aspiring for presidents. Well, why Brian Mundubile?
That is why we cannot allow a situation where you have 20, 10, 20, 30, candidates on a ballot paper. It was going to split our votes, and we're going to be beaten by the UPND. As we have decided, let's align with this Tonse Alliance, which already has got, some political parties joining. And Brian Mundubile so far has demonstrated credibility. He has been our leader at Parliament. He has been, our boss as leader of the opposition for years. I think he has proved to us that he's able to lead a contingent of those MPs. I think he's capable of leading the country. So we have picked on the alliance because I think they've done their groundwork. They are now organized. All the squabbles we saw them having, they've been able to resolve them. They are the convention, and they've picked on a leader called Brian Mundubile. So the person we've settled for is Honorable Brian Mundubile. But what do we bring to the table?
What makes you think the opposition will be able to beat the UPND government? We've seen, every corner of the country, people endorsing President Hakainde, including traditional leaders and students. What makes you think, the opposition will stand out and beat President Hakainde?
First of all, it is not the opposition as political parties that will beat the UPND. It will be the Zambian people that will punish the UPND for being failures, for destroying the economy, for destroying, our legal system, the institution of government. It is the people that have actually been saying, Binwell, before we just listen to
but it is the people who are also endorsing.
No, let's talk about the endorsement.
Let's go.
The president of the Republic of Zambia, President Hakainde Hichilema, runs to the Copper Belt to go and get an endorsement of the students. All those students who went there simply were enticed with 100 kwachas to go and sing endorsement. At least you saw what happened when they were not paid. They are the first one who went burning those t-shirts for UPND and insulting the people that had mobilized them. So you can clearly see that endorsement was simply staged to show the president that he's popular when he's not popular. And you see, the sad part is that the handlers of the president have seen the UPND as the perfect prey, because they know the students are languishing, are suffering, they need a lot in the schools. So when you give them 100 kwacha, they'll be excited. I can bet my life they cannot go to my jabos on the Copper Belt to go and parade them for 100 kwachas. Because our young people there, they survive on their own. So when you take 100 kwacha, they cannot endorse you. I bet my life if they can come here to entice the farmers to do the endorsement, they will go, they will be chased with stones, because the farmers are furious, they are disappointed, they are, they've had the worst of treatment in the years.
But we just saw Katete, nearly 300 PF members have defected to the UPND and endorsing President Hakainde.
Don't be moved by those arranged crowds. It's the same as what happened on the Copper Belt, where people are gathered.
So they're giving 100 kwachas. You have these defections you are calling, or the endorsements of my friends, the MPs for the Eastern Province. When Andrew, when
Nyambose, but they've been endorsing the president every time he comes here. I don't know how special this endorsement was and how different it is from the last endorsement, because every time I've come to Mwambo, I have seen that clique of MPs endorsing the president whenever he comes here. So
and the traditional leadership?
Look, the traditional leadership, and I'll speak for Chief Mpeze, Paramount Chief, because I was actually at his palace, not earlier in the day.
Actually, they, saw your posting.
They have a duty to pronounce a relationship with the government of the day, just like civil servants will say.
Doesn't that get you worried as opposition?
How? It is a duty, it is a responsibility, it is everything imposed on civil servants, as an example, to pronounce that they are working with the government of the day. But if you interrogate that statement, behind the scenes, they are the first ones who vote out the UPND. Because the civil servants used to say the same on PF. We work with the government of the day. They were the first to kick out the PF. The same is for traditional leaders. They have a responsibility to say to the people that they are working with the government of the day. But what happens behind the scenes is completely different. And I can bet my life that President Mpeze, because he was furious the day before Paramount Mpeze, he was actually very furious over the delimitation exercise. We all saw that. We also the traditional leadership, in Northern Province getting furious over the delimitation exercise. We saw Paramount Chief Mpeze castigating, the leadership of the UPN just a day before Mwambo over the development that has not happened here, in the Eastern Province. So when you see him say, we are working with the government of the day, he's simply being cautious. It's courtesy on the leadership, because it is bestowed upon our leadership that they must not create, that antagonism with the government of the day. They must show that there is a relationship. But behind the scenes, we know that starting from his household, the Paramount Chief, everyone in the palace is disappointed with the way the UPND have managed the affairs of this country.
Yeah, listener, I'm playing host Chu and Kana, member of Parliament, Honorable Binwell Mpundu, all the way from Kitwe this year, just to, say hi to the people of Eastern Province and interact. Talking about interaction, you can, be part of the conversation by calling. The number is 0978-748993. That's the number you can use to be part of the conversation. We do have the first one here. It's good to have you. Zina Nakomene Murutumila Phone. Wachoma Zina Murutumila Phone. Mukwezeko Mao Atembo Mvuka Patondo. Agulu Pitirizani.
VT, Batembo. VT,
maybe let him finish and then you respond.
Chani?
Free education. Zatembo ziko mukambili potenga. Let's pick two more and then you respond. 0978748993. Zina nagomi tumela phone. Ambewa Pitirizani. Ambewa Petauke Zuko Matiankewe na 0978748993. We do have Kana, Member of Parliament Binwell Mpundu in the studio. Was recently joined the Tonse alliance being led by Brian Mundubile. Good to have you. Your name and where you're calling from. Kurangeni Gurubanje. Mr. Moses Pitilizana.
Bwino wa Moses muni bwanji. Monga vichani wa Mbewe.
All right. Okay, make it quick. Muna 30 seconds. Okay. Mr. Moses ziko mkwambili po tenga kombani. Those three, we had Mr. Tembo, Mr. Mbewe, Mr. Moses. Mr. Tembo started out talking about meal allowances, a school feeding program, and a number of issues. Yeah, and education.
Okay, look, it is our duty to say thank you to government when they do well, right? And the UPND have done well to continue with free education. First of all, in Owaku Eastern Province, you must know this very clearly. The UPND is not the first government that has brought free education. Free education in Ayambila kuliba PF. PF started with the free education from grade 1 kufikira mu grade 7. Bana bama skulu sebenzo lipila chili Tonse kuchokera mu grade 1 kufika mu grade 7. Aba ba UPND bachitache extend free education kuchokera mu grade 8 kufikira mu grade 12. We thank them for extending the free education up to grade 12. But if you are to be very fair, the parents used to spend more money, or rather are spending more money on the children today than they used to spend in the PF days. Why? Because the prices of things have gone up. The amount of money you are spending on the bags, on the shoes, on the uniforms, on the books, you are spending too much money today. It is not free education if you are going to be spending more money to send your child to school, even if he's not paying at school. But we are saying, well done for removing or for extending the free education from grade 8 up to grade 12. We should also thank you or say thank you to UPF for having introduced initially free education from grade 1 to grade 7. So I've said thank you to both government. What otherwise we need as a people, which is what we are going to do as a Tonse Alliance, is to make free education a complete package. So that even vana vatu ngati basiriza skulu ya grade 12, vaenda ku secondary school, or rather ku university, they all need to find free education kuma colleges na kuma universities, because vana vama skulu manje, vana vatu basiriza maskulu mu grade 12 bakangiwa kuenda ku college because makolo bake bali ben drama. So there is no true meaning of free education if a child is going to complete school in grade 12 but fails to go to college because government can only pay for a very few young people to go to college.
The introduction of CDF skills and all that, don't you think it's covering that gap?
It does help, but how many people are getting those opportunities, Justin? There's still too many, because, by the way, the skills is only restricted to those who are going to do the actual skills courses, that is carpentry, metalwork. What about those who are going to do teaching? Those who are going to do nursing? Because that sponsorship here, CDF, does not extend to those, facet of education. So to make this CDF, or rather free education, a success program, we must ensure that even after grade 12, government is able to give education to our children for free. PF left a good number of developmental projects here in the Eastern Province. We are talking about roads, we are talking about schools, we are talking about how many secondary schools were built by PF, how many hospitals were built by PF, in the Eastern Province. So when we do the comparison, that is why we are saying, Ututuma projects to a CDF, it is nothing that we can even celebrate about, because all we can see is like a 1 by 2 here and there. What Eastern Province needs is real development. Onani Misewozan, you are farmers. That is what I'm insisting. You are farmers. What you need is when you produce your maize, your tobacco, your soya beans, wherever kuchadiza, kulundazi, you need a good road network to be able to transport that into the market here in Chipata. But this
we're seeing some sort of attention in terms of the roads. I think I was going around the other time in town, and some of the roads. There's some activity.
There's only an activity on one township road where they've just done about 600 meters of a third road. Elsewhere, the projects they started, Yamiseo, Chipata, Chadiza Road. It has been 3 years. This is a stretch of only 60 kilometers. How many
the
kilometers?
President, during the ceremony, he did. Talk about that, and he admitted that Yachedwako Patondo.
Yachedwako Patondo Bwanji. That is not Patondo. This project started 3 years ago. Okay? The Chipata Chadiza Road started 3 years ago. And this is only a stretch of 60 kilometers. They've only done less than 20 kilometers. The Chipata Lundazi Road started 3 years ago. They've only done, this is a stretch of 59 kilometers. They've only done less than 20 kilometers. The Katete Chanida Border Road started in 2021. They've only done almost just a kilometer. You need real development. You cannot be celebrating Madeskiam school. Na hivi maskuru ni 1 by 2. Ati sinkasa kwa PF manasi ya secondary school. Chamene chenze funika muta ni madesk chair. Okay, you cannot employ teachers when they are schools. That is why they are friends by PF Manasiama schools, so that they can now employ my teachers. Okay, so I am still insisting, you cannot even be celebrating in Owaku Eastern Province that development you are calling development, just the employment of teachers. And when you go into those classes, the children, because of free education, are sitting like chicken in the classroom. Because CDF is not sufficient to give them enough classrooms.
How does the chicken,
they are packed together. You will find children are sitting 200 in a classroom with only one teacher. Because even when they employed so many teachers, they cannot still bridge the gap. We still need to have too many teachers, coupled with a problem that we have created by free education, which has seen too many of the students.
You are describing free education as a problem.
It is not a problem, but it is a problem.
You just said it's a problem.
It is a problem when you introduce free education without supporting it with infrastructure. It is a problem when you introduce free education without giving it the attention in terms of more teachers than what has been employed. It becomes a problem because you are now compromising the quality of the education you are giving to the children.
0978748993. You can call in and be part of the conversation. And we do have Nkana, Member of Parliament, Binwell Mpundu. It's good to have you. Hello? Yewo, zina kamtumia phone. Azulu 1 minute pitirizana.
Ine nifuno kamba po oyo mkakaba mbuya uno. Mistake ya mena kamba po ye ni 45. Afuno kamba kuti anamanga uje. Instead, akambe viva mena zakapa boma. Azakapa kutu akambe university rate voti dizaita vaso. Development kai wones. Not even mena ngo kamba blema hivi. Simu pasa sensivo.
All right. Zikomo kwambiri potenga kumbali 0978748993. You can call in and be a part of the conversation. 0978748993. Call in and be a part of the conversation. We have another caller here. It's good to have you. Hello.
Zikomo kwambiri. Moderator. I think our politician in Zambia.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Zunanga Ninyirenda Lyson.
Please go ahead.
Okay. You see, politician wabwino amafuni kouza wantu zimene azachitira. Ngati politician una maboza poero neno team class wakala 200 bana. Nanga mkakapa sampando azana mazotani. 2. Anara DC bakukopa belt mchipani cha PF. Banakara mboma 10 years. Chadiza road sana luiona. Anapeleka contract ya Rundas Road. Ni UPND or nali PF. It was under PF. Today ana maboza pa wireless unena kuti na UPND wanapeleka 3 years ago. Is this man serious? Now, ngati as young as he is, ana maboza motel. He wanted to be president. Wakango kala president. Nuka join nakashipanikena. Nakoso kali beso president because FDD inachifumu banda as president. My election anachita ya Tonse yo, iligo Tonse. Wanatenga ma MPs APF ali 13-15 nukasanga Abrani Mndubile. Now when given winda pangaso ina Tonse. Number one to asange point. Secondly, I heard this man saying Zambians who vote out UPND. Nanga wabarushita indoors President Akainde. Are they foreigners? Today, in Katete they have defected 300. Now, here's the issue. Wanawina kuno Christian province kupeta uke. Wanaka moti wali popular. Wakarunza akuti wali genga election. Don't take these people serious. Afuno ugora kuba upitirira pamene pajana bakare. Usogolero wabwino okara kaporo otumikira abantu osatubera abantu ya. This type of leadership.
Thank you so much. You only have a minute. The number is 0978748993. If you are time watching, it's exactly 21 hours. We have some few minutes before we call it a wrap, but we'll still accommodate a few more calls. You want to respond now, or
yes,
we pick some few more?
Yes. Okay. Let me respond. Banyerenda na venangu batuma my phone. Me, I respond to a question asked.
Okay.
Justin, if you ask me, what are you going to do over free education? I'll tell you, free education ilibuino, but it needs to be supplemented. And I've said what we are going to do. We are going to extend free education all the way to tertiary institution. Is that not a solution to what the people need? I am saying free education is good, but it must be supplemented by having enough infrastructure. The children, I'm a member of parliament myself. I have children in my constituency that are sitting like chicken in a classroom. So Banyerenda doesn't know what he's talking about. If he goes to those schools, the children are so packed in the classroom. We need to build more infrastructure. So in wamene bakutumati si ukamba vamene muzachita in I flow with the interaction. I will tell you the problem and I will tell you the solution. As an example, in Wanirenda mukambati no bafuna wakabwere mukuba. The people who are stealing now are the UPND. If you go to the Financial Intelligence Center, which is not a foreign organ, it is a government-run organ. As I said, by UPND since they came into power in 2021, corruption has grown by over 500%. Are we not seeing the fruits of corruption? And then Kukopa Beltman, I'm sure you have seen on social media. The road from Chingola to Chirilabombwe has been cut off. You will see the problem that is going to be on the Copper Belt because of the shoddy work that was done on that PPP project. How many times have I spoken about PPP projects and the threat of corruption or the corruption that the element of corruption we see around those projects? We have been talking about corruption. When we speak about these projects, Monga Chadiza Road, Chipata Chadiza, Chanida, Katete Chanida, Inangwi, Lundazi, Chipata Lundazi. If the PF did not do the project, it is the UPND that made the commitment that Chizachita Umsewo. Banafakapo na contractor. Why should we not talk about it when they failed? Because they failed. In 2 months' time, they'll be out of power. Why should we be celebrating them when they failed to deliver on that project for over 3 years? Should they tell us today to vote for them so that they can complete a 60-kilometer road that they failed to do in over 3 years? Imobanyerenda mukazika lako serious. If we kwa tutika mbati, ichi kuanga bati mwena kumampalanya. If a government...
What does that mean?
Somebody who comes to you to say, if you give me this, I'll do better, should be able to demonstrate that when you gave me that little thing, I did that with that. I used it better. UPND was given 5 years. In 5 years, they could have had one road in the Eastern Province to point at. Are you telling me, Mobanyerenda, now you were Justin, 5 years that you gave to the UPND, they can fail to point at a small stretch of 60 kilometers? They should come to ask you to give them another 5 years to complete a stretch of 60 kilometers? How they were
still, sorting out in Congolese.
What in Congolese have they been sorting out? Because the UPND has borrowed more than the PF borrowed. Let me tell you the statistics.
Let's go.
PF, when they came into power in 2011, found the external debt at $1.8 billion. They left the debt at $11 billion. It means PF borrowed in 10 years just around $9 billion. Today, the external debt has gone to about $20 billion, meaning UPND has borrowed about $8 billion in only 5 years. The UPND have borrowed...
PF 9 billion in 10 years?
Yes.
The UPND 5...
They've borrowed 8 billion in 5 years. You've heard me in Parliament always pushing them around that. Why do we keep on borrowing? Because they were voted on the basis that they will not borrow. And when you compare, PF borrowed 9 billion. Haven't you seen what they built with that 9 billion?
Well, what did they build?
They built, they built, airports. One in Lusaka, one in Livingstone, and one in Ndola. International airports. They built flyover bridge. Flyover bridge. They built hospitals. They built power generation facilities like the $2 billion facility in Kafiwe Lower God. They did so much with the 9 billion that they borrowed. Tell me what the UPND has been able to do with the $8 billion they've borrowed in 8 years. And when you compare, UPF used to go to the Eurobond. If you look at the interest rate of the Eurobond and the debt they are committing by UPND kuma commercial bank is exorbitant debt. You can't tell me they've been sorting out debt. They've actually been putting us into more problems without anything to show for the debt that they are contracting. Westmore, they've now started engaging in what they are calling PPP projects that are now crumbling within 1 year. That road from Chingora to Chizabombwe was built less than 2 years ago. It has crumbled and has created an economic sabotage because 2 hours of trucks not moving on the Kasumbalesa road is trouble for the country, and you are going to see the trouble that is going to be on the Copper Belt because of that bogus road.
09787489993. We have another one. It's good to have you. Your name is Dokonovan.
Ewa Justin Mwachoma.
Akulu tachoma imubwanje.
Choma mkama Akaruru Jonathan kupeta okay.
Akaruru pitizani.
Seti ya mikire. Leo ni nini wa UPND, ni nini wao nusupportari banchi Jones, but the fact ngiovota. Abwana chitinga kuchina encourage mkazibwera pawaire sinthawe na nthawe gaira pangu yamba palecha timu mbwepo chi Jones ayanu akanda kale so musachite ulesi mkuza daily
Ziko.
So ndiposo tu ngofotokozanga ko zinthu zati mkachite manifesto romnakazo takuzomere nikumkira manifesto kwata kuti mwawera ko lero mungwezowa kuma mbwana ko 2 days ni derere muone
Ziko.
Maweme. So, come dere, mzapaona. Ndipo asi mawere kuti nanga yoko programu. Yungako time bwanji. Akakuzeni mkawere mkotetekera mkayangwe mavuto kusotogoza abantu.
Ziko.
Bati ngazikamba zinthu zamene zati mkawachitire abantu. Ngakupangireni atishindi njanji. Ola uti mkaipangerini njanji. nyama matsa manifesto anjani. So, but I'm telling you, I'm not supporting you. I'm not supporting UPND. I'm not supporting PS. But the truth, I will go to vote. Also.
All right, Mr. Kalulu, all the way from Peter. Okay. Tianke Nalamia 0978748993 takulandani mwa choma bwanji.
Yachoma mwachoma bwanji ninalisi tembo kuno kumchini.
Pitizana my tembo.
Tikambeko nawa sogoleri.
Amai bwanji.
Zikomo pobwera kuno kuchipata.
Zikomo.
Koma zokuzani. Ngati mwafika hapo paredi osatengera ukanya. Funiko kamba nawo bwino vantu chifukwa vantu ndi amene ona zinthu. Ndiponso tu ayo mawu ya mukamba mweyo mwenkhalapo 10 years pampando. Koma lodi yajadiza mwenzi oyiona, lodi yalundazi mwenzi oyiona notifira tyara bitu. Nikuwera vana vatenzo kuluntuka nawo sembeta kutwala ku skulu kulipira. Vawera ava vatipumusha, vana lomba avo kulya nsima bwino ku sukulu, vose tuvona vili bwino. So imwe mulisapozi kukamba vanu vamene vakufika tiuja kuti paseti ife tabwera na chateti kuti tikujeni tiseti zenite. Koma osakamba zayanu tukamba mungu kanditikwanditesira ukamba vija kwewe ichoka. We kamba vamene vanyowani vakutumangire napo chikwati. So ndiye mawu yangu.
Amai zikomo potenga kumbali. Tianke Nalamia 0978748993 takulandira nzina kwa mtimula phone.
Hello.
Yeo mwa choma.
Wino mwawombashani.
Mkai bakalamba shani mwepo.
Wino mashani Mpundu.
Tilifia wina makalamba mshani.
Mpundu wesi. Mpundu wesi imwe twaliwomba imwe wino sana. Kwamba munkana. Mpundu ofo mulera ndo chishinka. Aba bantu ba muchipata. Bebe ni chinka. Wofwe chinka. Chinka chiratwale bombara imwe munkana. Ocho nainembeba.
Ni chisa ichishinka hicho. You keep on saying ichishinka. What is ichishinka?
Mpundu. Okay. Shirandri.
Yes, go ahead and tell us ichishinka.
Mkai.
Shirafile tole bomba munkana.
Jones mkatifilia file twale bomba munkana. Mwezo senza tiani munkana mamino.
Okuwa ba DC ngapali umuntu wafa abantu bali mu DC. Binwell Mpundu.
You have 20 seconds.
Ngapali umuntu wafa abantu munkana bali mu DC. Binwell Mpundu. Ngapali futhi umuntu wafa abantu abengi. Ni Binwell wewini.
All right.
Alexander Chiteme Pagalishwa ni infrastructure minister. Tavare isakukitu.
Makalamba tuatasha mkaya kashtanaka yake.
Okay, Mpundu.
All right, 0978748993. You tell us how Mwale Bomba Ichishinka. What is behind the Ichishinka? But let's speak this one. It's good to have you. Hello.
Hello.
Yebo, takulandiran.
Mkamba na Daniel Zagwazulu.
Azulu Pitirzan.
Neo noyamikira makulabirira awo Binwell Mpundu but mu time yawo ya PF anakhala 10 years. Bintu vambiri vezooneka pojama andi apo ateta lina freedom olabira buno bwino pale wachita attack. Mweyo mukachitira umboni kunena kuti pa time ya PF ila. Senge echeche ali umodeti mu breeze hapo. Senge makada ziva vachani chiva va PF senge wali surrounded breeze yo. Vena na mapolisi kuita matia gasi. So alina freedom lero HH waleta Zambia kukhala ziko ya mtendere. So ivo vakukamba kuti yatitika khulupirire. I think istinga kwanisha hapo pali pano. PF tesuzana nayo kwesira ziko.
Let's accommodate 2 more, and then I'll ask, the Honorable Member of Parliament to conclude. Takulandira nzina wa mtumina phone. Akurupitizana. Pitizani mukamba kwa msanga you only have a minute.
Government ingena mpawa mwambo foto kuza ti wina ngwalitenga pokunziro paeka ama vika simamazi
Paeka ama chita chinji?
Zeru zaeka ama vika simamazi
Ndiye kuti bwanji?
Ine ndine unakuwa nao
Ndiye kuti bwanji?
Akuru pamweka simwa chitenzi ntukuma mzafuna azano.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't akwera batamene nalipa mabuto mapita mumo sakupa mpendele akwera azano shi azano awe kwaso nongosobote mukazokana nabo mwa.
Okay.
So ya mene mkamba hapa beta ordinary manager 2021.
Okay.
Mene ngena mpawa kama political party ngena mpawa mambo ipasa checks and balances.
Okay.
Kumene ipita is controller vintu. Kumene ma opposition or ma ruling members wafuna.
All right. Ziko Bokambili. We pick the last one, and I'll allow President Binwell Mpundu was recently joined the Tonse alliance led by President Mundubile to conclude. Let's have the last one. Hello. Apparently, Adaka, you are our last caller this evening. Mukrubanj.
PF komena konza mseu uli kwino njinga itamanga kwino but koma konza omwe kwa standard yao ili kwino kwambiri angoti mseu wachatiza mpamene inamba ni PF aziendera chituko chachatiza road ziko
Akulu ziko mopotengako mbali. Honorable, those, and let's conclude.
Thank you. I just want to say, and I like one comment.
Okay.
My role is checks and balances. The UPND needs me. You Bukumbuka Justin Mau yanakamba ba Levi Mwanawasa. Pamene basata bana duala babapega ku South Africa. That without this man I would not have performed. A good government should appreciate critics or divergent views, checks and balances. What I am doing here is to remind the UPND, and I've been doing that consistently for 5 years. Apamule Rufianya, apasimu chitabuino, had they been listening, they would not be failing to come to speak about development here in Eastern Province. The gentleman who called me that no, imumule tasha, pantunga kalinga na kuisa amakadas kuja, iwe bruluwandi, umwebe liswaniso. Ukutila, a civilized society, you must allow divergent views so that you are reminded where you need to work well or not. The reason why PF was kicked out is because of Kadarism. Bantu benzeona, they go to attack somebody on radio, people were seen, and they kept on ichimbala at Zakabaona pa my elections. If the UPND wants to be kicked out, Eddie, they should start attacking people who goes on radio. Okay? So, what we are doing here, mverani, baku chatiza. Ati museo, now we po akuchatiza. Unfortunately, with the development, you can't carry it in the pocket. It will be seen by everyone, including those who can see who have got no eyes. My coming here, I have paid attention. I've been here for 2 days. I've been listening to the people. the farmers, bantu bamumunzi che, they are the ones who have told us alativutika. So me, when I come here, I have to remind the government that this and that and that. But I will tell you, I will come for another program where I'm going to tell you what we'll be able to do to cover all these areas that the UPND has failed.
When will be that? When are you coming again?
I am going to be here. In fact, the whole campaign period, I'm going to be in the Eastern Province because I love the Eastern Province. I don't want them to keep making mistakes. Because kuno ku Eastern Province, mumasadila.
What mistakes do people of Eastern Province?
Voting because somebody has said, tienti vote. You must vote as Justin on conviction that aba basebenza. Not because somebody, your neighbor, has said basebenza, but you can't see where they've worked. The endorsements, okay? We know that those endorsements are meant to move people. You should have a mind of your own. Oh, bamai bandani baja. Na alikwata fieshu wili hapa mulu bana tembo. If you're na bangwa. Alashifurirwe mayo ndi mutuntu fieshu na pata fieshu wili hapa mulu.
She's scared you might say, you know, you take a punch.
Aona yo Justin. So, no. Justin and the people of the Eastern Province, I just want to say, look, this country is ours together. And we must work together to develop this country. That is why in this the design of things, we created Zaka Nama politics. Kuzaka nkara ba ruling party na ba opposition. My role as opposition, sikuchita praise by ruling party, is to tell them where they are failing. Because if I tell them where they are doing okay, they will not do my areas where they are not performing. I have to castigate them where they are not doing.
But don't you think it's also nice to to give praises where they are due?
Yeah, but what is there to praise good by UPND? Honestly speaking, you want me to praise that they've done 1 by 3
meal allowances?
Meal allowances,
40 million CDF.
Yes.
School feeding program.
Look, 40 million CDF is very good, but it should have been a supplementary program. CDF, perfect program. When
by the UPND.
Exactly.
Okay.
When you do a 1 by 3, it sits well if there is other classes. That is why the CDF was designed as a supplementary program. Meaning, the Ministry of Education, bafunika batunga maskulu. So that ngati pashota 2 classes, CDF ya bwerapo. The Ministry of Home Affairs, bafunika bapanga ma police station. So that ngapafunika check maseos, or kukrina maseos, or to rehabilitate maseos, CDF ya bwerapo. The Ministry of Infrastructure, bafunika bapanga miseo. So that ngakufunika ka drainage, CDF ya bwerapo. But if you are going to have all these ministries sitting just drinking tea and coffee, and you expect the country can be developed with CDF, we will never develop. That is why our people are celebrating 1 by 3. There's nothing to develop about a 1 by 3. You need fully fledged secondary schools and primary schools with proper infrastructure so that when you have free education, it is supported by infrastructure.
You have a minute, Honorable Finance.
What is free education if children are going to be sitting in a classroom by 150 and 200? So I am here saying the UPND could have done better for the Eastern Province because for the first time in 2021, President HH got so much support from the people of the Eastern Province. How many MPs did UPND for the first time have in the Eastern Province for them to fail to give development to the people? And this thing of talking about the PF were kicked out because people felt they were failing to deliver. 5 years down the line, we can't keep on talking about PF. That's why I can't keep on talking about PF because it's never chosapo. We need to talk about UPND and what they failed to do. And then when I come to this program again, I am now going to tell you.
Did you just say Tinawa Chosapo? You one of?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm independent. I used to be PF, and when they left me, I went independent. And that's how we removed the PF. So Tinawa Chosapo because bantu wanakambata awakangiwa.
Finally.
So finally, this is an election year, the people of Eastern Province. ise baku opposition munatiuza ta agwirizanani ikataneni, come together. We as Ichabache, the Movement for Good Governance, we heard what you said the last time I came here. Bwerani pamozi, tabwera pamozi manje, inenisebenza na babrani Mundubile, Tonse Alliance. We want you to try us, so that if we fail, then you can try others. Because tinaba esapo ba UPND. They have failed to give us any tangible development other than the toilets and the 1x3 they've built. So we are now here saying, when you said come together by opposition so that we can remove this government, we are here now. The vehicle to jump on board now, is the Tonse Alliance that is led by Honorable Brian Mundubile, supported by your children in your homes. Bafana, Ichabache, we are now ready to sell. And I will be here to keep reminding us of what Zambia deserves and what Zambia can be if we have credible leadership.
Dear listener,
thank you very much.
We leave it here for now, dear listener. I've been talking to, Kana, a member of Parliament, Honorable Binwell Mpundu, who's currently an independent MP, member of Parliament for Nkana, having previously been associated with the Patriotic Front. He recently joined the Tonse Alliance faction led by Brian Mundubile. He's also the leader,
Thank you, my dear brother. Very excited to have been here. I'll be back, like Arnold Schwarzenegger said.
We'll leave it here for now, and congratulations, Arsenal. Wow. Anyway, we'll not talk about the EPL. Arsenal has just done the needful. I've been your host, Justin Mwanza. For now, it's bye-bye.